Hey everyone, this is Cheese Ninja, and I just wanted to create a really quick multiplayer map making tutorial for any of you that might be interested in trying to do that. So the first thing you want to do is just go to your Mount&Blade Warband module folder. Let's do apps, common, Mount&Blade Warband. So I have a bunch of them here. Basically, you probably don't have this many or whatever. Just copy and paste one of these, and so you have a backup. You have an original file, and then you have a new one that you can actually use to edit. I've already done this, so I'm not going to do it specifically, but basically, yeah. In order to make sure that you don't accidentally delete your original game, just copy and paste your native folder to create a new one that you're planning on editing. Then just go to Mount&Blade. Let's go to native maps. Click configure. I like to do this in windowed mode so I can alt tab easier and I can see the menu more easily. So there's a couple different ways you can do this. You can go in and edit an existing map, or you can basically make a new one. I would just replace an old map. There's a couple ways you can do that. You can either edit one that already has like a topography that you like. You can just move buildings around, stuff like that. Or you can start from scratch. I'll show you guys how to start from scratch first, because I think that's at least what I typically do. So actually what you need to do is go to single player first, and you create a character. Doesn't matter anything at all. You just need to be able to get into the game. And because we have enable editing mode on already, you can click on terrain over here. There's like this extra option over here. And you can just generate terrain. You can change like the vegetation. You can change how big it is. I typically put everything on minimum because you can add trees yourself. You can change the land size yourself. You just need a basic template. So this is like a tiny map with nothing crazy going on. I will typically drag the size up a little bit to make it big, because you're going to want extra space. You're not going to utilize the entire map, but you're going to want to have the extra space so that way you're not trapped within the confines of the map that you made. You can change the terrain type. Let's just do plains. Let's just do a basic plains map. So this is what it looks like. So then what you could do is you go up to the top and you copy this terrain code. Just literally click copy and it's like in your clipboard. So this is where things get a little bit sketchy in my opinion. It's a little bit hard, but if once you get used to it, you can make it happen. Basically, go to the module that you have open. So for me, it's native maps. I go in here and I find the text file that says scenes, and you get this nightmare of a list that pulls up here. And what you want to do is scroll down until you find a scene that you want to replace. So I have a module that has a bunch of like extra map slots. You might want to just replace like Ruined Fort or one of the maps that you don't like that much, something like that. Regardless of what you do, just pick a scene. And I'm just going to do this one. Number 5. We'll just do that. So when you copied from this page here, what you did was you copied this code up here, which is the same. It corresponds to this over here, this code. So all you have to do is just highlight this to replace it, and then hit Control V, and it changes to what we had here. So now the map is going to generate a terrain that looks like this instead of an actual map. So then you Control S to save it. Then the other thing you could do is you can mess with this outer terrain. Notice it's different. Like if you want when you're in the map, there's the area that you can play in, but then there's also like the outside of the map that you can see in the distance. And this is how you change what that looks like. So you can make it snowy, you can make it desert. There's a couple different weird names for some of them, like tier makes it so there's a giant mountain and there's like a Viking ship on the other side. Beach makes it so there's one side that is an ocean. And then I believe, let's see, I'm looking for another map that I did already. Where did I put Cheese Cove? So see outer terrain 2 results in basically you make an island. Everything is surrounded by ocean. Again, our main map is plains, so I want the outer terrain to be plains as well. Let me find. Honestly, the hardest part about this is not getting lost in the giant menu. So it's this one. It's this one. And because I want a plains map, I'm okay with the outer terrain being a plain. So we're good to go. So you just Control S, and then you don't even have to exit out of that or anything. Close that thing, save and exit, go to multiplayer. And again, my module has a bunch of extra maps that I added. But if you're using native, you might want to just replace, maybe you replaced ruins or village, just whichever map you replaced, go to that and it will load up our new, basically invisible terrain code. I gotta click all the way to 5.
2,000 years later.
Okay, so when we get here, what should show up is just a very flat plane with an outer terrain that also looks like plains. So let's see if that works. Yep, this is exactly what we just created. So now you have your just basic template ground that you can do whatever you want with. And you've got the outer terrain loaded already. So now you're ready to actually like edit the terrain, add objects. So this menu, there's 6 main options. And when we're editing multiplayer maps, you don't give a single damn about AI mesh, and honestly, you don't care about weather either. So it's really just these top 4 that you really care about. So editing objects is how you add buildings and stuff to the game. Let's say I want to make a castle battlement. I just take this out here and I right click and now it's there. But let's say it's not at an angle that I like. If you hit Z and you move your mouse around, like drag your mouse around, you can rotate it. And if you hit X, you can rotate it in a different plane, and then Y is the third plane. So Z, X, and Y are how you rotate items around, so you can get really weird combinations or whatever. If you hit T and you drag your mouse up and down, that's for height. So T is for height. And then once an object is placed, like this object is already placed, you right-click to select it again if you want to edit it. And again, those same rules apply. You can still click X, you can click Y, move it around as you like. And also G is how you drag it. So if you want to physically change its location, you can hit G to drag it. And again, T is up and down. So yeah, that's basically how you add objects to the game. You can also resize them. Like let's say you think this battlement is much too large and you want it to be smaller. Hold B and then drag your mouse towards you and that makes it smaller. If you push your mouse away from you, it makes it bigger. Now, you can get really weird. If we want to get funky, you can hold B and Z at the same time, and it will change the size according to the Z plane. So now we're like making it really short, or we can make it really tall. If you hit B and X, we're making it thinner, or less wide, I guess. Whatever. Yeah, those are the same thing. And then B and Y, we can make it thick in this direction, and that's how you basically change. And it can look really weird if you really mess with it, as you can see here. But that's how you resize the item based off of like specific planes. But basically, those rules can pretty much allow you to place an item however you like. Yeah, and if you want to delete it, just right-click on it, press delete. It's gone. I should note, once you've placed an item, there's like a ghost of the item still there. As you see, I just like flew over something when I just rode over it. And that can affect how you're placing future items. So the way to get rid of that is to just quit and then reload the map, and it will be officially gone according to the game, not just your eyes. So that's how you place items. Next, I will quickly show you ground color paint. So basically, you can recolor the ground, and I don't really use this that often. But if you've ever played Waterfall, whoever made Waterfall just made everything as yellow as possible. So let's see if we can make yellow. God, I don't even know how to make colors right now. Okay, there's yellow. Boom. Now the ground is like a really weird, gross yellow color now.
Oh, what have I done?
And if you want to save that, you hit Control E and you click Yes Save.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do this.
If you decide actually this is the worst color I've ever invented, this is horrible, just hit No, discard changes. You'll leave. Oh, whoops, I don't want to do that. You just go back and it's as if nothing ever happened.
I'm really glad that we're doing this.
So yeah, that's how you save versus not saving, and that's texture paint. And radius is how big of an area you want it to be. Like this entire area is now affected like this. Weight is how aggressive it is in terms of like when you place it. See, it got more vibrant because I increased the weight. And then hardness is like how aggressive the edges are when you're combining like the two colors here. See how it kind of like fades in? Well, let's increase the hardness to 1, and now you have, well, it's actually not as aggressive as I thought, but still it's more aggressive than if I have the hardness at like 0.5. Typically hardness determines how like quickly the edges change from the weird nauseous color to just regular grass color. Again, I'm going to discard this because I hate that color actually.
I don't like it.
And I always spawn in. You don't technically have to spawn in, but if you want to click E and you haven't spawned in, it'll send you to the very corner of the map and you have to like fly around really far. By the way, I'm just W, A, S, and D to just move around like this. And I left click to turn around like this. I'm holding the left mouse button and I'm just like spinning around basically. Ground texture paint. There's a couple different textures you can utilize. So let's say you made a plains map, but you don't want every single aspect of the map to be plains. Let's say you want some stones. Well, you can just change the stones and we'll make the radius kind of big. Boom. And this is what I mean by like the hardness. This is what I'm more used to. It's just like suddenly switches. But you can paint around. Let's add some turf. Turf is like a really dark green. And see how you can like kind of blend it in. And turf kind of looks... the initial plains is just kind of like a random blend, and it does change. And so it's kind of like a natural color. And so if you want a plains map, you really don't have to do much coloring. But if you want to add... like, let's say we want to turn this into a lake. Let's just smooth out the sides so we don't see any jagged edges. And so now we've got this nice little egg-shaped thing, actually. And notice there's still grass on here. When you reload the map, the grass will disappear. That I have grass turned on. Maybe you don't. This will automatically populate or go away depending on the texture that you have here. So the game actually reads the texture of the ground and decides whether that should have grass on it or not. So you don't have to manually get rid of all this grass. It'll disappear automatically. So next I want to show you guys ground elevate. So this is how you make hills or valleys or whatever. So we're gonna click down. Again, I'm gonna make the radius like 7. I decrease the weight so it's not super aggressive and I don't accidentally make a pit to freaking Tartarus or whatever. And I just like click a little bit and you'll see there's an automatic water level that will show up. This tells us where the water will be. And you can just kind of click around and make it into a lake like so. And boom. Again, it's going to look weird because I haven't reloaded the map yet. There's grass here and there's no water. You can hear the water noise though. So let's just reload the map and we'll go back here. And as you can see, it's actually there now. We've got our nice little pond. Now, if you want to get crazy, you can... Let's make a giant hill and let's make it aggressive. Let's make it really aggressive. It's like this huge thing here. But let's say you want this here, but you don't like how jagged it looks and it's like kind of bumpy. You can go to the smooth mode, and I'm sure this probably makes sense. You just smooth it out, and as you can see, it's turned to a more of a flat, sloping hill rather than just like a jagged thing. See how it just like smooths everything out? This is really important because if you're running around on the map, or especially if you're riding a horse, it's a lot less annoying if the hill is smooth compared to when it's really jaggedy. So yeah, that's how you smooth items. But let's say it actually, there's a specific height you want it to be at. You can click to level, choose, I want everything to be leveled out at 5 meters, let's say. Then if you click, everything will automatically start heading towards the 5 meter height. And it will bring things down. It will bring other things up. It just wants everything that you click on to reach that 5 meter height. I really like doing this for lakes actually. So what I'll do is I'll make it -2. So 0 is like water level. So if you do -2 and you click, you just make a pond immediately. And you don't actually make the pond like super, super deep. It's just kind of a regular pond. Oh god. A lot of weird things have happened. I'm going to reload and see what happens. Yeah, so the water's pretty deep here. If you want people to be able to run through the water, you're going to want to raise the level a little bit more. So ground elevate up. and just go like this and just kind of trial and error it. So like, see how it's like going to be just barely under. This kind of water is easy to ride through if it's just right below the surface. See, I can literally still couch my lance on this depth of water. So that's kind of what you're looking for in terms of water that people are actually going to have access to in maps. But yeah, that's basically it when it comes to just the basics. What I can do now is just like show you guys some of the maps that we like to play in pickups and like why they're good, I guess. Let's go to everyone's favorite Castellum. So these are entry points, by the way. I should probably go over entry points real quick. So edit objects. Oh, I should have actually mentioned this. Yeah, so I was messing with scene props earlier. That's how I had all these like castle battlements show up. But there's other categories here. Entry points are literally deciding where the players will enter the game. And when we play battle mode on pickups, entry point number 0, which I believe is right here. Yes. Oh, this is 32. Okay. So there's 2 teams. So entry point number 0 applies to team 1, and entry point number 32 applies to team 2. So everyone's going to spawn wherever entry point 32 is. And then everyone on the other team is going to spawn wherever entry point 0 is, which is going to be like right here. There we go. Yeah. And again, we play battle mode, so those masters of the flags show up. Those flags correspond to entry points number 67, 68, and 69. So this is 69 right here. Where's another flag? There's one right here. This should be 67, I believe. Or 68. And then 67 is going to be this one right here. So those are really the only... There's other ones placed here. That's just if people wanted to play other game modes, I guess. They don't really matter. You're just concerned about entry point 0 being team 1. Entry point 32 being team 2. 67, 68, and 69 are your 3 flags. And once you place those, you're basically got everything covered for people spawning in and the flag spawning in properly. Everything else just comes down to personal preference of how you want to design your map. Like, where do you want buildings to be? Where do you want trees and stuff like that to spawn? Like, where do you want people to go? Making alleys, making different ways for people to push, like tower. There's multiple ways to get in here. I should mention all these these are barriers, and they just prevent people from jumping through them. And I should say they are one-sided. So someone can jump through. If I'm standing right here, I can jump through the green side. But if I'm standing right here, I can't jump through the red side. So when you're placing barriers, just make sure that you're aware of which side they're facing. Because if I flipped this around and I did that instead, then suddenly a horse could jump up onto that roof just fine because they're jumping through the green side rather than the red side. Yeah, that's pretty much it when it comes to map making. Everything else is just personal preference and getting to specific details of how you want your map to look. And so if you end up having any questions, just DM me and I'll try to help you out.